if they think something is like cute, they'll just say, "Oh, this is very demure, very cute, very mindful." That's
Mm-hmm.
really their thing. And another one I'd say is like slay as well. That is another slang for girls. Like, when girls say slay, it just means really good. Like, oh, slay. When they say, oh, that's such a slay, it means it's really good. Like,
Mm.
if they might even use it as a compliment. If they say like, oh, that outfit you got on right now is a slay, means that like it's a good
It's
outfit.
a good
You're
outfit.
doing something right. For
So
example, on the topic of like outfits, if
yeah,
someone says drip,
yeah.
for example, drip now, if someone says, okay, you've got drip, it means what you've put on is clean. Like you've got a good outfit, good sense of dressing. Your outfit is well put together and look nice. You know,
Mm. So if I ask Stan, what does Stan means?
Stan. Stan is essentially like your like Stan. I think is like fan. You're a
Mm.
fan, but doubled. Like, if you say, "Oh, I'm a Kanye West stan," or
Like a
a Drake
diehard,
stan, or
is a
you're a
diehard fan.
diehard. You're not just a fan, but like you worship the feat that the whatever the person does, music,
It's good.
music, yeah, you worship, yeah. It's like you're a diehard fan. If you're a stan, you're a fan times 10. That's what I think stan means.
Wow. Wig,
You said what?
wig,
Weak. Oh, okay.
wig, like
Um.
WIG.
Oh, wig. Wig. I don't think I've heard it as a slang. I think wig is just like just a
Just
hairpiece.
wait. I mean, someone said it's an expression of shock or amazement.
Um. Maybe. I've actually personally never heard anyone say wig. Like, yeah, I've never heard anyone say wig
So,
before. So
so
that's
someone
a new
said,
one.
uh, someone knocked someone wigs off,
Not someone
wigs
wigs
off.
up.
So,
Yeah.
I mean that was why I found. I mean, in terms
Oh, okay.
of in terms of that, what of banger?
Banger. Yeah, banger is like a good song. Like now, I'm a Quavo fan. I like Quavo, and I remember the first time I heard the song "Turn Your Click Up." That I was in my head immediately. I was like, that song is a banger. Like that song is good. Is a banger. So a song that is just good, fire. That's a banger for sure.
Anyone from any of these slangs from Africa that you know,
From Africa.
or probably Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, or anything like that?
Oh, okay. Like, I do know one slang that kind of has a Yoruba kind of Nigerian twist to it. I remember it was when Dave is a UK rapper. He's quite popular. He said in
Okay.
the song one time, "Don't die for Nyash." So yeah, people started. That was so popular, and that term essentially meant like, oh, just you know, don't don't be doing the most for girls. Essentially, like don't kill yourself just for some girls.
Okay, so it seems as if all of these slangs and lingos for Gen Zs are actually related to the opposite gender. I mean, in
A
terms
lot of
of
them, yeah. A lot of them.
why is it does this show the value of the Gen Zs as I mean, what does it say about Gen Z's values and worldview? Because I mean, language and slang shows the value and what place in which
Yeah.
this group of generation actually belong to. What does this say about Gen Zs? What does it say about your generation?
Yeah, nah. To be honest, I've never actually thought about it like that, but now that you actually bring it up, it does kind of show that maybe I don't want to start saying Gen Z is shallow because that's my generation, but it just shows us where our priorities lie in terms of what we're constantly thinking about. So it does kind of show that like yeah, we're living in a generation where um where yeah, people like what they like in it. Like that's what I'm gonna say on that.
So
Like
so yeah, so it's I don't know how to say this, but it seems that does it show that the Gen Zs are focused on anything except the opposite gender. I mean, in terms even guys say things about ladies, ladies use slangs about.
yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah, to be honest, definitely. Yeah, like I mean, now it's like you can become popular on TikTok by literally just talking to girls. Like there's literally like there's I remember there was these videos that used to always come up on my For You page, and it was like, oh, is this W Riz? And a guy would just be mic'd up. The camera guy would hide in a certain place, and
Mm.
he would just talk to girls, try and get as many girls' numbers as possible, and like that would get millions and millions of views. And people would use this method. Like you could find at least 20 people on your For You page doing the same exact formula of videos, but if it's talking to girls, then it's gonna get views. So it does speak a lot of volumes in terms of like what people like to watch and what people like to see on
See.
as content.
So, um, so can these slangs be used to create a sense of belonging or exclusion within the Gen Z community? Do they use a slang to, I mean, exclude some people and include some people?
Mm. Um, I would say, yeah. Like, in terms of included, anyways. Like now, it feels like, especially with all these new words, like there's a new word coming out at least every week. Now, especially
Wow.
TikTok moves so quick. There's a new word coming out every single like. If you're not on TikTok for about a week, your everything's already changed and there's a new word.
You
So
have lost quite a number of information if you're not on TikTok for one
yeah,
week.
exactly. Like you lost all the info. So there's definitely like an inclusion. I feel like because like I feel like people. It almost feels like we have our own language now. Like I can now if someone is talking to me and then they'll say a certain thing, I'll just know okay what kind of community they belong to. Like there's just new words coming out every single day. For example, if someone says to me, "Did you watch the Mafia-thon?" I know exactly what that means.
What
But if
does it
someone
mean?
says, if I say to my parents now, "Did you watch the Mafia-thon?" They're gonna look at me like I'm crazy. So
Wait.
yeah,
What does mafia-ton mean? Someone out there
okay,
wants to know what a mafia-ton is.
okay, Mafia-thon. Essentially, so I brought up Kai Cenat before. Kai Cenat is like he's now the biggest streamer in the history of Twitch. He in this Mafia-thon he got over, I think like 700,000 subscribers in 30 days, which
Wow.
has never been done before.
Wow.
And he they this is what he called a subathon. So a subathon is when you stream for 24 hours a day,
Wow.
24/7 for 30 days. Cameras don't go off. So even while he's sleeping, he's streaming.
That's
Even
subathon.
yeah, that's what a subathon is. And then
Ma.
Kai Cenat calls his community of people, he calls them the mafia. So essentially, he just like mafia and subathon just combined the two words mafiathon. And
Mafia-ton.
this one is actually the one he recently just did. He just finished his mafiathon just like last week. Like He just finished it. This was the Mafiathon 2. So he already had Mafiathon 1, which he broke the record.
Yeah.
Someone broke his record, and then he did the Mafiathon again, and then he obliterated the record. So now he's like on top again.
Okay, so how do you think the older generations perceive the Gen Z slangs or the Gen Z generation? Do you think they are confused, they are amused, or they can relate to it, or they're like,
Yeah,
you know, the African praise, you know, the African parents
yeah,
style, or they're like,
yeah.
what?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think it's all of the above. Definitely, they're a bit like, it's a whole new world out here now. Like a whole new, things are completely different. Even to 5 years ago, 7 years ago, things aren't the same now. People prefer to watch live content now rather than pre-recorded things now. Like people, it's just a whole new world. Even now, the things we're saying, raise, like, things like, skibbity, like things like that. People,
I used to hear of
it's just a whole
Skibidi. I don't know. Someone is in the production crew now raising hands like this when the person heard of Skibidi. What does I mean? I don't even know
skibbity. Yeah, okay.
this.
So skibbity is so on TikTok. On TikTok, there's something called like brain rot. It's like it's almost like when kids, like things that little kids say. So skibbity is one of those things where it's just a thing where people say like for no reason. So skibbity just means like it essentially means nothing. Like it's just a stupid word that kids love
It
to
just
say.
means nothing. It just
It
says
means
Skibidi
nothing.
and
Like genuinely, it means nothing. It means nothing.
oh my
Skibbity
god.
is like usually people would say skibbity toilet as like a little joke to sound brain rot essentially. So skibbity is a word that means nothing essentially.
Wow. Wow. So so why does each generation, I mean, I'm also wondering, why do you think each generation tend to create its own unique lexicon, words,
Yeah.
or phrases? Is it,
Um.
I don't know. Do you have any idea
Yeah.
why they do?
Why? I think it's just like as times change, different things are gonna change as well. So like we're every as times change, we're gonna get where there's gonna be a new environment. New environment means there's new things that are gonna be around us. So that's gonna just bring about change, and change is just gonna bring more change. So a change of environment, people might start saying different things now, and there's especially now with the like with the change of influencers. So now there's certain people that are at the forefront of like influencing apps, like social media apps. Like if you ask me in like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, who's at the forefront of TikTok, I would have told you Charlie D'Amelio. And now, if you ask me who's like the face of TikTok, I'll probably have to say Kai Cenat. It's just so different people have different influences, and then when different people start saying different things, people are gonna pick up on that, and then that's gonna cause a shift. People are gonna start doing things differently, saying things differently, and things of that nature.
So are there examples of the Gen Z slangs that have been misinterpreted by other generations? Do you know of any? I
For
mean, like
me,
for me now, Skibidi doesn't make any sense to me.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
there are some that doesn't make any. The day they said slay, I was like, slay means you're basically killing someone. So my mind is you're gonna
yeah.
kill somebody.
Yeah, nah. Honestly, I hear that. I hear that. Honestly, only one I can think of is so usually on TikTok I be live streaming. I try live streaming as
Yeah.
often as I can. And sometimes people in my comments will ask me, "Oh, are you Sigma? Are you Sigma?" Chat, do we think praise is Sigma? Do we think
Yeah.
praise is? And I'm thinking, what does Sigma mean? So I'm thinking Sigma has negative connotations. The way they're saying it, I'm thinking it means like, oh, it might mean, oh, ugly or silly or stupid, something like that. But Sigma means you're like, oh, you're like the best, or you're a good person, or you're just like a good guy in
Wow.
general. So if someone was described as Sigma, it means you're just like cool. You're just like a cool person.
Wow.
So yeah, it's kind of confusing, but yeah.
Okay, so let's hold the thoughts because there are still some questions that will be coming up as we go for a 5 minute break. As we take a break, audience, should I use their Sigma praise?
Yeah.
So please feel free to send in your comments, your contributions on this topic of Gen Z Unfiltered. We're looking at the lingos, we're looking at the slangs, and let's go for a break right now.
Okay.
Ooh, save me from myself. Ooh, be gentle with myself. God knows this time I'll never lose myself. I know I can change the world without changing myself. God, protect me and shield me with your light. Heal those who are conflicted with me inside. I'm growing every day. Release me from this pride. Turn anger into peace and lead with my inner child.
You're welcome back to TouchPoint with Tayo on Jambo Radio. So I have my guest with me, Praise Sindick, a university student and a TikToker. Putting your questions on the social media handles, and you definitely know that we'll put it into our discussion on Gen Z's Unfiltered. breaking down the slangs and lingo of a generation. Praise. Hi, Praise.
Hi,
Are you there?
hi.
Okay, so
How are you?
let's talk about how does Gen Z slangs reflect the changing norm in our world today.
Okay. Yeah. Um, I think the slang, the Gen Z slang, how it represents or how it represents the world or kind of like the generation or era that we're in.
Yeah.
It just represents kind of like how unserious Gen Z is, if I'm gonna be honest. Like, for example, like skibbity, like a word that is so silly it means nothing, but is so popular. Like it just represents like people will say anything that they see on TikTok. That's just like that's the whole thing about this Gen Z. They'll see anything. If if a TikTok has 1 million likes with a word on it, people are gonna say it.
Wow. Wow. So, because there are times I just wonder, I see some good content that could, I mean, educate me, that could make me feel, oh, this is quite good. And it doesn't have any, let me say, probably like a very low, low likes. And you see some, to me, it doesn't make any big deal. And you see, like having millions of likes. It seems like it's the generation of likes and love. What does this like? I mean, means to this generation.
Yeah. I mean, in this generation that we're living in, to be honest, attention is currency. So likes is just like another like representation that like the video, a lot of people like your video. Like in simple terms, if you have a lot of likes on the video, it means that a lot of people like your video, and your video is more likely gonna do well than not if it has a lot of likes. It shows that it can appeal to a wide range of people, you know, and a lot of people can see it, laugh at it, cry at it, just express some sort of emotion at it. So they're gonna leave a like.
So in a way, this generation, just as I've said earlier on, seems to be they thrive on seriousness.
Precisely. Precisely. Yeah.
So how do you think the generation can become? Is there any way seriousness can be inculcated into the generation?
I mean, this is the thing. Like, I think, honestly, if you're asking me honestly, nah. I just think that TikTok has just like ruined a lot of like cognitive thinking for a lot of kids now.
Wow.
So I don't see this generation getting any more serious in terms of issues, because like pretty much if you post anything on TikTok with like a cute sound to it, like people will just see it as a joke.
And a
To
good
be honest, like
video and a good colored, I
yeah,
mean,
good
cinematographic
aesthetic.
stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So, so,
So
so, so, what role do you think humor plays in this generation? What role do you think comedy plays in how Gen Zs express themselves linguistically?
yeah, I mean, like I think humor. I think in terms of expressing ourselves now, humor is like the number one thing is on how people express themselves. I've seen videos. I've seen videos on people like people joking about them not getting into like you know them not getting into their dream university that they've been dreaming about for 5 years, and that's soul crushing. That's soul crushing info, but people just casually joking about it on TikTok because now that's really how people express themselves, through humor, through likes, through like just posting things like that, expressing yourself through funny things, funny TikToks. That's how people express themselves now.
Okay, so if we look at the lifespan of slang within this generation, how long do you think they're still relevant before they become, let me use the slang of the Gen Zs, before they become on coal?
To be honest, in terms of lifespan, things on TikTok, especially trends on TikTok, have a very short shelf life. I'm not gonna lie. Like, one day something could be the most popular thing on earth. The next day it's finished. Like, things die very quickly. Trends die very quickly now. Like, quicker than normally, to be honest. Just because how fast paced everything moves. Like, there's a new trend today, a new trend tomorrow. You're gonna forget about that previous trend. So things move very quickly, and if you don't get with the times, if you don't get with what's the newest thing, you're gonna get left behind, guaranteed. So things don't last very long. Slang doesn't last very long these days.
Can you touch point on some of the examples? I mean, 2, 3 of the slangs that were used yesterday or are since faded away and is not being used right now?
Yeah. So I think, for example, when I brought up demure was like, I even was saying that at some point. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I fell into the trap of the trend. I'm not gonna lie. I said demure at some point. But this was like, demure was cool to use literally September, October time. Since after October, I've not heard a single person saying it. Like, it died so quickly that I couldn't even process it. Like, that is finito now.
Someone is saying on YouTube, or he says that I love the honesty of from praise. Gen Z slangs just gives unnecessary headache trying to know the meaning.
Yeah, no, honestly, like, it'll have you like confused. Like, you'll see something and it'll have you scratching your head like, what on earth? What does this even mean? You find out what it means and you finally feel like, okay, I'm part of something. I know what it means. Finally, only for it to not be cool, not be relevant no more, just because the time has passed. So by the time you learn and catch up to it, you got to catch up to something else now, and you got to learn something else now.
Do you think, I mean, I'm going to latch on to this comments on YouTube. It says, on the good side, it's a generation of happy people with zero worries. Do you think your generation, the Gen Z generation, latched on to that scripture, do not worry?
Very much so. Yeah. To be honest, like, there was actually what's it called, a slang that was kind of trending for a little bit, but it's not trending anymore. Ages ago, people used to say, charge it. Anything happened, charge it to the game. Like, in fact, this was so popular, someone even made a song about it. Charge it means it is what, essentially, deal with it. Like, it is what it is. So,
like, charge it.
People are
is it charge it or charging?
Charge it. Like, charge, like you charge your phone.
Oh, okay, that you charge your phone. Yeah. Okay.
So people used to say, if something is happening, like, let's say now I was carrying my groceries and I spilled all my eggs and I dropped my whole groceries and wasted money.
Yeah.
I'll just say charge it and walk home. You know what I'm saying? Like,
deal with it.
like, deal with it. Essentially, it is what it is. There's no time to be worried. So I think, a lot of people don't really worry anymore. So I mean, that's like a plus side, like for sure. We don't really be caring too much about things.
Okay, so what happens when a slang crosses over to the mainstream? Does it lose its appeal? Like when it crosses over and becomes, I mean, it's coming from that marginal space of Gen Z and all other generations, Gen X, Gen Y, the baby boomers, the older generations, even Gen Alpha decides to use it. Does it or decide not to use it? What happens when it moves from the a particular generation and moves all over to the mainstream? Does it lose its appeal?
Um, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. For me, and with a lot of people, once something like once something moves to the like mainstream, once like older people start using like a certain slang, for me it just becomes uncool. Like I don't want to use it no more. And for a lot of people, that's the case. Like when someone like who's like aged starts using words, trendy words, it just doesn't have that same effect no more. Especially when it's now in the mainstream. Maybe if we see like the word used in adverts, or
Yeah.
big companies using the words or techniques that they're using. For me, it just becomes very like washed, in my opinion. Like it just come like almost overused, very uncool. Like I just don't like it. So
Wow.
for me, I just it just ruins it
Wow.
completely.
Wow. So have heard older generations complain about the word like, and like it's a no. So I'm also saying it now. Like it sounds like in a statement doesn't, to the Gen Z's is just normal. Doesn't communicate, doesn't move with communication level. So where I'm going is this: how does this slangs affect the communication skills of the Gen Zs? Do you think they are better communicators, or they need to work on their communication skills?
Um, to be honest, depending on the person, I'm saying
Yeah.
depending on the person because a lot of people know how to kind of switch off from that, switch on and off. Especially me being in uni and stuff
Yeah.
like that, having to write
No, you are
elaborate
within the space. So I mean, there are some words that would definitely uh, be part of, because you are within the space. So once they say it, you will look at it, and you had actually said earlier on that sometimes you just feel like saying it because it doesn't look uncool to you.
yeah.
So in terms of technology, do you think technology in a way helps Gen Zs to develop and communicate these slangs?
Um, what do you mean by
Like,
what do you mean by
does technology today help that slangs to move in a much more faster way,
Oh,
and
definitely,
helps
yeah.
and helps communication?
Definitely. For sure. In fact, if it wasn't for technology, they wouldn't move the same. Like it, things slang wouldn't be spread as quick as it did, or it wouldn't be as big as it is. Literally, it's all thanks to technology that like things are the way they are like right now, and technology is only gonna improve. So, yeah.
So someone sent a message or a question that, do you think these slangs moves into the workplace for the Gen Zs,
Yeah, definitely. Like
as in
now,
into the official workplace, and you use it even when you are at work, or there is an,
okay,
or
maybe
it
not
is just
like
outside of it?
I think it's a very much like it's a very like casual
Yeah.
use of talking. It's very informal. So
Mm.
when you know how to switch from informal to formal, when you want to address someone, with a job interview or talk to your manager,
Yeah.
talk to co-workers, obviously you need to you have to talk in a
Have a
certain way.
certain way to talk.
Yeah, you can't be saying, "Oh yeah, I just raised up someone yesterday, Skippy," and like you can't just be talking anyhow,
Yeah, the
especially to
person
like your
is
manager.
the person is actually signing out when you're talking like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I want to see, because AI is now real, is basically part of what of the technology today. So, do you think will AI tools adopt the using of these slangs to connect with younger generations, especially the generation Alpha that is coming? Do you think they will be much more serious than your generation?
Definitely, definitely, without a doubt, they're gonna be like. I think Generation Alpha. I don't even know what that's gonna look like. To be honest, I'm kind of scared for what it's gonna look like. Look like seeing us what we look like now. If this is only gonna continue, yeah, nah. I don't know what we're gonna look like what the next generation is gonna look like. And in terms of I
Yeah,
definitely think AI is definitely gonna incorporate these things because like if this is what everyone is using, like
yeah.
everyone the technology users, if this is what like we're saying that we're using, then it has no choice but to incorporate these kind of languages into the system.
Yeah. Okay. So as we wrap up, and I have a comment here on the YouTube, and Olawale is saying, sometimes I wonder whether to be concerned that Gen Z is losing communication skills, or whether actually the definition of communication skills is changing. What do you think?
Um, I think to be honest, if I'm gonna be honest,
But
I
just be
think
honest. I mean, yeah.
I think a lot of people in Gen Z are kind of losing touch with reality. Like we're losing touch of like losing conversation skills purely just
Mm,
because if you think about it, things aren't like the same way. Especially like when I was a kid,
yeah.
I would just be. I mean, I didn't have I wasn't able to play Fortnite online
Mm-hmm.
with my mates. Like I would be outside riding bike. I'm not saying like I'm an old guy or something like that, but like I was just out riding bikes, just exploring the city. But now, especially my younger brother, seeing he had his first piece of like his first gaming console way younger than I ever had mine. Now he can just sit on Fortnite and talk to people.
Wow.
So like people that face to face interaction
Yeah.
is kind of it is not really the same as before now because people don't need to leave their house for anything anymore. Like now we have Uber Eats. You can just
Mm,
if you want to order food, you can
yeah.
order Uber Eats. If you want to people work from home,
Yeah.
people game online and talk to
Yeah.
people online.
Mm-hmm.
You can even talk to AI robots.
Mm.
So face to face interaction it is dying out. If I'm being honest, like there's not a use for face to face interaction anymore. So
Okay.
I think people are kind of losing touch of that those core communication skills.
Okay. So, what do you think we can do to improve the Gen Z's communication skills? If there is a problem with Gen Z's communication skills,
I
any
think
advice?
any advice, I'd say I'd say don't don't be too obviously enjoy technology. Like technology is here to be enjoyed, but don't make that the bane of your existence. Don't let technology rule your life. Like don't be the kind of person that from your 9 to 5 you're hopping straight online, just Xbox all day, Fortnite all day, playing Fortnite, ordering Uber Eats, talk like just ordering your groceries online.
Yeah.
I'd say go out. My only advice is just go out and do stuff in the world. Go out shopping when you can. Instead of ordering your shopping online,
Yeah.
go to the shops and have a conversation with the people you see in the
Yeah.
aisle. If they're buying the same cereal as you, talk to them. If there's an event going on, if there's like an event going on, join the event. Talk to people at the event. Just go out and experience life. Go out and experience human interaction. Like that's the only way you can improve your communication skills is by experiencing life. Like that's the only way.
Yeah. So someone also saying that there is need for us to improve that reading, that communication skills. There is also the need to also lower the time on technology and up the game on reading books. What do you think to that?
Yeah.
Just in a few seconds.
Yeah. I think definitely if we had a lot less screen time and a lot more book time, kids would be a lot more creative. Just because now kids don't really need to use their brains no more. Just because they're just staring at a screen now.
Wow.
But books, you're using your imagination. You're reading it while picturing what's going on in the book. So there's that. You're using your brain a lot more now. So kids don't really use their brains as much.
Wow. So just to wrap this up, before I ask you your pattern shots, what prediction can we make about the next move or next wave of slangs and its influences?
To be honest, like in terms of slang, I actually wouldn't even be able to predict that. All I know is it's just gonna be silly slang.
Wow.
That's gonna be the next slang. I just know the next big word is gonna be so silly that like I don't even think I want to be a part of it. To be honest.
Thank you so much, Praise. It's been so wonderful. And let me have your parting shots. Usually I ask my guests, today is Praise Speaks. What would you like audience, listeners, years to come to remember about you? And what you want to leave a last word for them?
If I could say anything, last word
in 20 seconds.
In 20 seconds, work hard, chase your goals, chase your dreams, trust God, you know what I'm saying? And just do things that bring you genuine happiness, follow your heart, but make sure you're thinking as well. You're thinking reasonably as well. But in all, chase your dreams and trust God, and you'll see changes happen.
Wow. Thank you so much, Praise. It's been wonderful. Thank you for coming to TouchPoint with Taya today. I want to thank all the production team. It's been something else here, but we pull through. We pull through. Thank you all the backroom team, the researchers who were bringing all these questions here and there. Thank you so much. Audience, engaged audience, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the discussion for this week. I am your host, Tayo Oweye. Remember, life's journey unfolds uniquely. Run your race to attract grace, because it is within the race that grace finds its way. I'm your host, Tayo Oweye. Join me next week for another exciting episode on TouchPoint with Tayo. Good night and God bless.